Welcome back to Ref Corner. Here we have another in the series called Tell Your Story. So we have one of Concacaf's finest, Caribbean, and more so Jamaica's number one top FIFA referee for the past several years. Now I'll ask him to introduce himself.
Okay, my name is Daneon Parchment. I'm a FIFA referee since 2017. I've been an elite referee since 2019 in Concacaf, a part of the elite tier of referees in Concacaf. Being a referee is is a very tedious job. It's not easy. We have to concentrate for majority of the games. We have to limit the mistake. We're going to make mistake, but we have to limit the number of mistakes that we make in game because we are not perfect. So we just have to try to be in the best position, create the angle of view to see what is happening on the field of play to make the best decision for the game. So, it's always nerve-wracking moment every time you walk onto the field of play. It doesn't really matter how many games you have done. So until I blow the very first whistle, then the butterflies will go away. But it's normally like this for us, and it's something that we love. It's something that I enjoy doing week in, week out. Whether I am home, I am on an international game, but it's always a pleasure. It's always a privilege to represent myself, my country, my family. It's always good.
Right, thank you. So let's take us back in time. How did you get introduced? Before we go there, tell the viewers and subscribers where you grew up, your introduction into the sport, if you played other sport.
Okay, so I am originally from St. Elizabeth. I'm presently located in Chilani. That's where I am a physical education and science teacher. I represent the Newell High School, playing the Costa Cup football, and I also play some Super League games as well during my younger age. I was introduced to referee while I was attending the GC Foster College. Right, so we were there one weekend where we were introduced by Mark Sullivan and Anthony Garwood, and also Dave Meikle, right, and we were introduced a course that was in 2012. But I has always wanted to become a referee from 2002. So if you backtrack, it was like 10 years before I actually did the referee exam. So it was a bittersweet moment for me because the younger you join referee, it's a more possibility, the more opportunities you have as a young referee. So don't wait until you're old, guys. The opportunities now whenever you're young to come and learn the game, learn to officiate, and the sky is the limit for you, right? So as I said, Carl, I always want to become a referee. So even when I was playing, whenever we do have practice game, I would take the whistle and I will officiate these games. And even when I started teaching in Chilani in 2006, and we had an old senior referee. I think maybe he's the longest serving referee in Jamaica right now, Irvin Vernon. He was there as the referee chairman for Chilani, and I asked him, how can I get involved in refereeing Chilani? He was always telling me about you need to go and do a physical fitness test. But in my head, I am saying there must be some form of theoretical work that needed to be done before you can consider about the physical aspect, because physical is personal, but you need to know the laws of the game and understand what you are about and what you are supposed to do, right? So when I went back to GC to do my degree in 2012, and I get the opportunity call, and from then I haven't looked back. I stayed there for 6 weeks without returning home, just to ensure that I complete the referee course and also the exam. And as I said, I haven't looked back since then, and I am still here.
Yes. Tell us your development. I know in Casafa here, persons have to do like say a year of prep school football, we call it. Then you matriculate into schoolboy football, Major League, Super League, and then to the panel. How was your introduction to the Premier League panel, firstly, and then to the international panel?
Okay, so as I said, I joined the Children Referees Group in 2012, where I started officiating. When my chairman saw me for the very first time, he said, "Mr. Parchment, you cannot use a flag, my friend. You will have to become a central referee. I don't want to see you with any more flag. And I have heard you blow the whistle before, and I don't want to see you on the line." So I started out in the parish officiating for 2 years before and also doing confed games as well for 2 years before I was introduced, given the opportunity to be a part of, or invited to be a part of the elite panel at that time. My first session that I went to, it was all the way in Portland, St. Thomas. Sorry, right? That was my very first panel training session. I still remember the day, up until now. Carl, being a former FIFA referee, the whole ritual that you have to go through whenever your first panel training session. So
Yeah.
I went through my fair share of the ritual. But after being on the elite panel of Jamaica, I spent 2 years before I was nominated to become a FIFA referee. Right, so I spent 2 years at the parish. Then I spent another 2 years doing confed game. Right, and I was introduced to the panel. I spent 2 years officiating in the Premier League in Jamaica before I went to the under 15 tournament in it was in Orlando, and it was a success despite I went home early. But the director of Concacaf at the time was Brian Hall, and when I was leaving, he said, "Daneon, you don't need to worry or fret, my friend. You are a very good referee. We see all the qualities in you. Not because you will be sent home, but no worries. Your country is going to nominate you, and we will accept that nomination." So I had faith, and I felt good afterwards. No one liked to be sent home whenever you had a tournament call, right? And after speaking to him, I actually was relieved, of what he said. So that was a journey in 2016, and then 2017 I received my FIFA badge.
Nice. To be sent home early, as you said, no one likes to go on a tournament to be sent home for various reasons. Sometimes they see what they're looking for. Sometimes your team progresses like your country progresses, and you cannot do a semi-final or a final. So there are various reasons, and for you to be given that assurance from the director of refereeing in Concacaf, must have felt joyful for you to know that the following year you would have gone on to the FIFA panel.
Correct.
Having that white badge, people don't know. Having that white badge, yes, it comes with a lot of responsibilities. It comes with a lot of weight. It's very, very heavy. In comparing officiating here locally, say a top game, compared to a CFU game or a Concacaf game, how do you draw the comparison?
In Jamaica, our system of play is different, and based on the surface, I think the surface has a lot to do with it as well, Carl. The player does not have quality surface to move the ball around the way they want to, and it also depends on the coaching style that the coaches are using. So we have to adapt and adjust, because my head of refereeing, Carl, just noted that you have to learn to dance a yard before you can dance abroad, right? So you have to put in all the hard work here, Carl, before you can go abroad to do the hard things. Because if you practice what you're supposed to do here, whenever we go away on international game, it will become much easier, right? So whenever we are away on international duties, the games are much faster. We can read and anticipate much better because of the system of play, the quality of the surface as well, right? So to read and anticipate is much easier. But here in Jamaica, because of the number of turnover, it is difficult, right? Because if we anticipate too much and go too far, then we may see a poor pass from a player, interception, and then if we get caught too high, then it's a wow moment if we are not in close and around the penalty area to make the next best big decision. So, that is the comparison. I think at the CFU level now, I think the football is growing, it is getting better, and there are more opportunities. And I think it is now started, especially in our JPL game here, we are now seeing a lot of comparison with even the CFU games, right? But at the CONCACAF level, it's a bit different, where you have the top teams are playing, and with a lot of European players. So, it is always different call for me.
Right. So, in drawing your comparison, what would you say is your biggest attribute? I know for some referees, fitness may be their top asset in terms of movement, getting into position. Some having played the game before, they're very good at reading the game. Some maybe anticipation. What would you say is your biggest asset?
I am always able to read and anticipate very well, Carl. I always try. I am always able to read two or three phases or passes in the game, right? So I knew exactly where the ball is going. So when you see another referee maybe doing a lot of running here or there, I would have anticipated and gone ahead and been already in that area to make the next best decision. So that is my strongest attribute, to anticipate and read how the players are playing, and it make my life easier as a match official.
Right. Very good. Compare your toughest game here in Jamaica. How did that go? Did you have sleepless nights, or you have that moment that say, no, I'm gonna give up. I can't manage no more, or I'm gonna push through this?
Carl, to be honest, at no time in my referee career I have ever tell myself that I'm going to give up and referee. Never. Despite the challenge, there'll be challenges, and it's how you overcome adversity at the end of the day, right? I remember I had a semi-final game in the jungle, and that is when we used to have the real top man them are playing at the Premier League, and at that time the game was difficult to referee, and it's very physical. And if you come to the Premier League at that time as a match official and you're not strong enough, you're not going to stay. With the type of players who were there at the time, you would have get frustrated and you don't want to do a next game, because some of the referee, I don't know if they got coward, and become tentative in decision making, or some players would want to call down the decision of the referee, and he will get somewhat timid. But for me, it was never like that. But I remember that game in the jungle a couple of years ago, as I said, it was between Arnett and Waterhouse. It was a semi-final game, the final leg, and there was a lot of situation in that game, but there was not a lot of errors, Carl. But for me, when it comes on to error, as you talk about sleepless night, if I made a mistake, for example, last week I had a game where I had a miss-handball situation, and also a possible penalty simulation situation. And for days, I have to be telling myself, I need to do better. This is not me, and it eats me up.
Right.
So we don't want the teams or the players to think that referee are okay whenever they make mistake, and it is not. You understand? So it is always nerve-wracking, and I have sleepless nights since then. Trying reflecting what I could have done better and what I need to do going forward. So you have to find a solution to every single thing that happened in your game before. So that's how it is, Carl.
Two quick follow-up before we end this interview. One, I know you have done numerous tournaments overseas. Persons have seen you on their TV, Gold Cup, World Cup qualifiers, Olympics, you name it. Tell us that one big tournament that you have been to, and it's like, damn, I wish I could stay here for the next 10 years. This is out of the world. And 5-star hotels, I mean, you name it. World-class travel, get paid in the US. Tell us that one tournament.
I was at the Olympics in July for a month, and I think that would be my very best moment, being able to go to Europe for the first time, appointed by FIFA to work in one of their biggest tournament, which is the Olympic Games. It was it was first class. You fly for 8 to 10 hours in a first class cabin. You are well taken care of. You are in a 5-star hotel. All meals are paid for. When the moment you step into your room, you have 2 gear bag with all your gear that you are going to use for the tournament. It is well organized. Everything is just off the hook, Carl. Awesome, awesome, awesome. But I have to commend Concacaf because we have done a lot of, you said it before, a lot of tough games, especially in the Gold Cup tournament, which is one of our biggest tournament in Concacaf, right? And we have been to a lot of 5-star hotels, which are awesome, just the same, Carl. And and the games and the atmosphere is something to even think about all over again. So it is great. That
Yes,
much I can tell you.
yes. I said two, but something just came over me a while ago. I have to mention these two. I was having a talk with you sometime in December, and you were at first. I was made aware of this. I never knew. I saw you on TV, refereeing and stuff, but there was some absence here in our local league, and you told me you had to do a major surgery, minor surgery, major surgery, whichever you call it. Shed some light on that. Some persons they see you in the VAR room, they know you're in CONCACAF refereeing, they know you're in FIFA, but they weren't aware that you had a surgery.
Okay, so in 2022-2023 season, I I had a Achilles injury where I had suffered 2 tears in my Achilles tendon, and I had to do a major repair to my right Achilles. So I was out of refereeing for 10 months, trying to recuperate and recover from the surgery, doing a lot of strength training, strength exercise, and to get my body to start to feel how it used to feel before. Right, I'm still in the process. I'm still not feeling myself 100% as yet, despite I am back on the pitch refereeing call. But it's never the same after you do a Achilles or major knee surgery. It takes a time. It takes some time for you to actually start to actually feel yourself and how you were before. So, it was a nice feeling to be on the sideline for 8 to 10 months, on crutches. It's not a nice memory, but you have to remember that we are athletes and injury will come, but how we take care of the injury and how we take care of our body and ourselves at the end of the day.
Right, right. Persons don't realize and being aware that referees are actually athletes.
Of course.
Yes, they manage the game, they officiate the game, but referees are athletes as well.
Correct.
Tell us about the VAR room. Sometimes we see you when they highlight that room. Persons don't know you're actually one of the top VAR referees when they have decisions to make. How does it work? A quick synopsis. How does it work?
So, the VMO is a video match official. That is the acronym or the short term, because you say a VAR. All right, good. But being in the VOR room, it is different because the atmosphere is not the same because we're not on the pitch. But we are given the opportunity to assist the referee with another opportunity, right? For something clear and obvious, right? Missed penalties, mistaken identity, right? Possible red card situation. So these are the situations that we can intervene and assist the referee as much as possible. So being a VAR call, we have the responsibility, and why I say the responsibility, because we have a number of cameras. The referee on the pitch only have one opportunity to see the action of what take place on the pitch, and he have 1 split second to make that big decision, right? But as a video match official, we have several camera angles. We can now go back to replay and look at what happened, and if it is clear and obvious, if it is or if it's not. So if it's right or is it wrong. So this is what we want to know. How does this look on TV, right? And if that is the case, then we have to recommend an on-field review for the referee to get another opportunity to see this, because it is obviously clear, and we want him to give him, based on consideration, another look to make the best decision for the game. So I am enjoying that as well, Carl. You know, it's a new challenge and with a lot of opportunities, and I'm enjoying it, as I tell you. And the sky is the limit. The sky is the limit when it comes on to being a video match official.
Right. And just to let our viewers and subscribers know, when the referee actually go and look at that monitor,
Yep.
the decision lies with him or her.
The referee
Has
has the final decision. So if we think it's wrong and we recommend an on-field review, we will show the referee the video. We will show him from different angles,
right,
and then he has the final decision. So whatever we think are the consideration that we give to the referee, and he comes on his seat, and if he thinks this is not and he wants to keep his on-field decision, he has the final decision to do so. So everything lies with the referee at the end of coming from the monitor.
Okay. All right. In wrapping up, just this final question. I've always heard media persons talking about it. Why are referees afraid to give interviews? I'm not talking about a match that was done or mistake or how well you did in a tournament, but you're coming from overseas and persons put a mic in front of you. You know, how was this tournament? How you made the list? Blah blah blah. Why are referees on a whole? I can assure you, many persons watching you on TV, seeing you ref, they have never heard you speak, never ever, right? So this may be the very first time they're hearing a Parchment speak. Why are referees afraid to give interviews?
Honestly, Carl, I am not sure, but I think most of the time we want to follow the protocol. We don't want to do something outside of the head of refereeing, and we haven't notified Miss Samuels or the chairman of the referees association, which is Dave Meikle, that someone want to have an interview with us, and we don't want to breach.
Right.
So we tend to shy away from the camera until we are given the okay. So once they are okay, then we are okay to go ahead and give the interview with whichever media person, whether it's from TVJ, Sportsmax, or CVM. It doesn't really matter. Our YouTuber who wants to conduct the interview. So it's a protocol or the guideline that we have to follow.
Oh, so number one is protocol. Okay,
yep.
Understood. So in wrapping up, I want to thank you, viewers, subscribers. I want to thank Mr. Daneon Parchment, a friend for many years, more than 20 years. We went to the same college together,
Of course.
College. We from adjoining parish. I'm from Westmoreland, he's from St. Elizabeth. So please like, share, and subscribe. And Mr. Parchment, you have the final say in inviting persons who want to be a referee.
So all the young persons who are interested to become a referee, the opportunity is there. As I said earlier in the interview, do not wait until you are old to come and join referee. Come whenever you are young. The opportunity is there. You can grow. You know, and the sky is the limit. There are so much in referee to offer. Do not look at the smaller picture, which is officiating in Jamaica. The bigger picture is always at the international level. But as I said, you have to learn to dance abroad, so you have to master what you are doing here locally first before you will be given that opportunity to go internationally. So just take this with a spoon of salt. I would, as I said, I would encourage anyone to be a part of refereeing there. The compensation packages there internationally. Do not look on the, as I said, locally. And if you do that, you will be successful. Do not wait until you are old. Come when you are young and be a part of the various referee group. Every parish have a referee group, so don't be afraid to reach out. The JFF, you can reach out to the JFF as well and get yourself involved.
All right, thank you, Mr. Parchment. It has been long in coming, but I really appreciate you taking out some time out your busy day to join us here on Ref Corner.
Not a problem, Carl. It's always a pleasure, brother. Big up yourself.
One love.
Yeah, man.